Welcome back to another episode of RNT Fitness Radio. Today I'm joined by the whole team at RNT with Ben, Nathan, Kunal and Indi all on the line. We turn this into a little bit of a roundtable with two key topics of discussion. Firstly, with many of our clients entering the final phases of their fat loss, we thought we'd go through some of our best tips in helping them achieve the greatest result possible. The second tips revolve around Christmas, and with it coming around the corner, we go around the team and give our best tips on tackling the social events around Christmas and how to balance enjoyment while staying in shape. We finish off on discussing our own personal health and fitness goals and talk a little bit more about what we're working on right now. So I really hope you enjoy this one. There's big man Muller.
What's going on, peeps? Yo. Squad assemble. Here we go.
You trying to freshen up your hair to look like...
I'm ready. Nah, man, Kunal's got this thing on lock. He still hasn't given me
out the barbers.
No, he hasn't even given me his barber's number. He's like, no Goras allowed.
When you're down in Northwest, I'll take you.
I'm down on Friday, actually.
You want to go?
Nah. They won't know what to do with me.
They're actually really good. They'll just have skin fade on the side and then a little trim up on top. And you're good. Yeah. New man.
I'll just be like, who's this fake Indian you brought into the barber shop?
What do I do with him?
Yeah.
I think while we're waiting, why don't we just why don't Kunal give the listeners like 3 beard tips, and then you can give 3 beard tips. Actually, all of you have got amazing beards.
Wait, hold on. You've got a beard as well now. No, hold on.
I just can't beard tips. Stop it.
Look at Indy's
Look at his growth. Look at his growth. There's newbie gains that's come in.
I got lined up for the first time last week. Yeah, came out thinking, oh wow.
You told me he's never shaving again. I was so proud. I was like, holy crap. Look at his transformation. Look at his mental transformation that he's gone through. I was so proud. I couldn't believe it. Because the barber could have easily ruined it and he would be like, I'm shaving. I'm done.
I was feeling pumped with that, and then because of it was so messy that it just made my face look like a square.
Oh, man. All right, so go on then. Indy, give us some diet, it's not some diet tips, some beard tips.
Indy's got a nice beard.
You know what?
I've got a strong beard, man.
I trimmed it, but I don't know, beard tips. Get some sandalwood beard oil and comb it every morning.
Squad. You have got beard oil, actually.
Yeah, get some beard oil. Take care of it.
Nathan, I hope you got the notepad ready, yeah?
Even I've got beard oil. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this.
For your bum fluff.
Hey, Nathan, no foul language on this RNT podcast.
We've actually started already.
It's an explicit podcast, so we're all good.
Yeah.
Can we actually swear?
Yeah, it's an explicit podcast.
Your mum's not going to be very happy with you, Kunal, but you can definitely swear if you want to.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah, Akash, you definitely can't edit this out. This has to be.
We've got to put it out. So carry on. Indy, you got one. You got beard oil.
Is this three top tips?
Yeah, we're gonna take notes, me and you, Nathan.
Do you know what? I've no idea. I mean, get yourself a beard comb. You know.
All right, how do we even get it to the stage where we need a comb?
It's the same as when you're growing muscle. You just got to accept that. Trust the process. Let the fluff grow.
Get puppy.
Don't mini cut.
That's a good one.
Don't mini cut.
Akash got a little fluff and started mini cutting already.
Yeah. Then what's the equivalent of steroids?
Oh, there is one. It's the one they packed on you. Indy, you know about that? They do.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, basically we're getting extensions then for our beards.
Yeah. It looks so real. It's unreal.
If you've got dark hair, you can use Bijan, which is like a dye, which makes it look really dark and super, super real.
Any negative side effects?
No contraindications.
None.
Just masculinity.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
It improves like by 1,000%.
Your confidence will rise.
You feel like a real man.
That's the pro.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We're not going to get that many tips on beards. Come on.
All right, guys. All right, so for the listeners here, we've got the whole team on today. We've got Indi, Ben, Nathan, and Kunal, and we're going to be talking about 2 different topics. The first one will be on how to approach the final 3 to 4 weeks of a fat loss phase. And the second topic will be on how to stay in shape around Christmas, or really is what approach you should be taking going into the Christmas period and whether you should have an approach or not. So we're going to treat this like a round table and just go around the room and see what advice we can give you. So we'll kick it off with the, how to approach the final phase of a fat loss phase. And we'll start off with Indi. So the scenario here, just so you're clear, you're entering the last 4 weeks of a dieting phase, probably the last 2-3 weeks by the time this podcast airs. What do you need to be doing mentally, physically, and making sure that you hit your goal?
Main thing is obviously, firstly, consistency. You're on the last bit now, and this is where it's going to be the struggle the most. You've put all the hard work in the last few months, and your calories are going to be super low, and you're probably doing a lot more cardio than you would be wanting to be doing, but you just got to be consistent. Any moments of self-sabotage to stop yourself. Talking from someone who's currently in that stage right now, you're going to get moments where you think, I can't do this anymore. You just got to keep going and remember why you're doing this. But yeah, consistency, make sure everything's prepped and no room for any sort of errors. Just keep at it. That's my point.
Tell everyone what you're doing right now. What are you trying to achieve and where have you come from?
Right now, so what? If any of you guys know my story, I was sitting at 38% body fat and I've been on a journey these last few years to try to get down. I'm currently sitting at 11% and I'm adamant to get down to 8% now. So I'm on the final 4 weeks, I'd say. So, I'm just been pushing the cardio a lot more now, a lot more than I would normally do. The issue I've been having is sleep. Being over here in Australia, the time zones and so forth, wake up ready for work. So that's massively affecting me at the moment. And there's been moments when I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. But I just got to keep at it. The drive to just get to this final end now is just keeping me going. But even I get moments of, doubt, and I want to sabotage things. But I keep focusing on how far I've come and where I'm going. And I know it's just another 4 weeks. So yeah, it's just being consistent and not letting anything get in the way.
So when people say, you need to focus on your why, you need to remember what your why is, like, how do you actually do that in the real world? Like, because it's an easy thing to say, but, when you're feeling that moment of self-sabotage, what are you saying to yourself to keep yourself on track?
So I stopped myself. Obviously, in the past, I'd give into it, but I just look back at how far I've come and just reach out to people close to me and get some positive feedback. It's good to have a good network of people there supporting you. And it's definitely a benefit of having a good coach there. So I reached out to Ben actually to help me out with some nutrition. So if I do get a moment of weakness, I do reach out to him and he does kick me up my arse. Thanks for that, Ben. It's just it's just remembering that, okay, it's a process and it's not going to happen overnight. And even when I look back, I still can't believe I got down to how far I am right now. So it's just like knowing that, okay, I've got another 4 weeks and I can do it. It's just persistent, basically. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kunal?
I'd say keep things really simple, especially last 4 weeks. You don't want to chop and change, especially your meal plans. I remember last 4 weeks, I made a mistake and started buying different peanut butters from Carter Sports. I bought Jammy biscuit, chocolate chip because I was like, oh, I'm craving this, I'm craving that. But just don't, because it's just create a massive decision fatigue. And yeah, just keep it really simple and be consistent with what you got. So if you've got steps to do, your HIIT, cardio, training, keep everything, keep going.
So basically the point is not to start new meal plans and not to start being too flexible with your diet. And
yeah, especially when hunger goes up, you don't want to start buying different syrups, different peanut butters. Just keep things really simple, stick to the same meal plan.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Hit me.
Go on.
Support networks. So support network, guys. This includes obviously your friendship groups, your family members, whatever. Especially if you're coming up to say Christmas and you're finishing off your diet. Get everyone on board. Tell them what you're doing. Make it as easy as you can for yourself. You want people in your corner saying, right, okay, you're nearly there. Don't eat this. Take things away from that are going to add any extra stress to the plans that you've got. so that, everybody's on board with you and helping out, rather than trying to do this all on your own and make the journey even more difficult than it has to be.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And who've have you got many people? Well, you're helping Indi, right? So what are you doing with Indi right now?
Well, I think, you know what, like coaches and also need support, and then obviously your clients, we're paid to help them get their goals. But I think the big thing and the value you get in a coach is kind of like the second eye. They're saying, right, you need to do X, Y, and Z. But then when you've got that moment of, you're like, okay, am I doing all right? Am I nearly there? How much longer? What's my progress like? That's where you need the second eye and the support.
Yeah, for sure. Nathan?
I think my biggest thing is understanding, and the person understanding that motivation probably won't get you to the end. It'll be basically a calculation or a sum of all the systems that you have in place, and understanding and ensuring that your systems are so robust to last the 4 weeks or 3 weeks that you've got. Your systems might have got you as far as they have, and as Kunal was saying, if you change those systems, you may be subject to some difficulties, whether in hunger or satiety. But keeping the system, keeping the process that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your habits, the things that get you out of bed, the things that you get you back into bed, and also that's automatically combining that with the second eye, and then you're good.
So by systems, can you just clarify what you mean? Because you sound...
Oh, so like just daily habits of like meal prepping and cardio.
Okay.
Can we just touch on the motivation thing? Motivation is going to be something where, like, right at the very beginning, it's going to be peaking as high as it could ever be, because you've just like signed up, you just started, you got your plan, you can't wait to do it. And then like you might be in like week 4 to 8, and you're like, okay, this is actually getting hard now. I've been dieting for a few weeks and kind of struggling, and motivation will dip. And this is where, like Nathan's saying, you need these systems in place. But then probably when you're getting to that last 2 or 3 weeks, and you're like, right, I've got a photo shoot, I'm nearly done. Motivation starts to come back up. And even though you're like, finding it hard, because obviously dieting for that long, you're probably like, yeah, I'm nearly at the end. I'm looking better and better. My abs are showing. I can see veins in my shoulders and my arms. It's a fleeting thing. Like, it's going to waver. You're not always going to be like up there. And then at the same time, it's not going to bottom out all the time either.
Yeah, it's all about that dip, right? That dip period where in the middle, you just don't have that excitement that you normally have. But once you start, you go through that gray body fat zone where you don't really see many changes happening in your physique. But the scale is moving in the right direction, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and it's like, oh wow, I didn't see that before.
Yeah, and it's that middle bit. It's that middle bit where you need the support, right, from a coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Being accountable is really key.
Yeah, and just having someone who's done it before, and they know that period where the physique might not reflect what the scale is showing or the waist circumferences are showing.
100.
So I'll add my one in. My one would probably be, everything you guys said is pretty good. So I'll just say that you just need to add thinking about what to do afterwards, and not just thinking about, the deadline day as the deadline day. And every time on this call, every time we do this. So for the listeners, Nathan's again trying to make me laugh, just like he did on the last team podcast. We want to think about what we're going to be doing afterwards and have plans in place, so that once you finish the deadline, or once you hit your goal, you don't just rebound afterwards. You don't just reverse back up to where you were before, and you have a plan in place to reverse out the diet process properly and set yourself up for a nice long muscle building phase, which will probably be in 2019 now.
Yeah, especially if we're talking about this in the run up to Christmas, like, we've got to be realistic about people coming out of their diet carefully. And, this is probably the one time of the year where it's going to be very heavily food focused, and everyone's going to be around family. So that environment and everything we've just spoken about needs to all tie in so that you get through Christmas successfully and are actually able to transition into the new year and start muscle building.
Yeah, and that's a good segue into the next bit. What's your advice with approaching the Christmas season? We'll start with you.
I think you've got to be realistic. First of all, there's only so many times in the year where we will all get like something between 2 to 3 weeks of downtime, and trying to expect people to be really, really rigid sometimes isn't realistic. So if you've just finished your diet, or you're getting towards the end of it, know that your calories and macros are going up. You can be a little bit more flexible with what you're doing and accept a little bit of weight regain, but not to the extent that you're just letting your results slip away during 2 or 3 weeks. So, you are managing your diet. You're still enjoying the social time, but you're still keeping the focus on what you're doing. And I think with that, keeping, what I said earlier about the support network, letting everyone know that what you are doing is, not just a short-term diet. It's a long-term thing that you're trying to do, helps everybody else kind of help you.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So you're recommending continuing your training and then just being a bit more relaxed on your diet?
Yeah, you can be a little bit more relaxed. You've got to have some structure. You can't just go from, say, training 4 times a week, doing hit lists and whatnot, and being on low calories and saying, oh, it's Christmas now, so I'm going to wind it down, because that's a recipe for disaster. You still got to have the structure in place whereby you're still going to the gym. You can be a little bit more relaxed with food, but not being ridiculous and still keeping your eyes on the prize.
Yeah. So this is for someone who's just finished a transformation or fat loss phase, right? What about for someone who's, say, 8 weeks in and they've still got another 8 weeks to go or whatever? Like, what would your advice be there? Would it change?
Over Christmas?
Yeah.
If what, you're 8 weeks in and you've got like another...
The majority of our clients will still be in the middle of a fat loss phase, right? And then obviously Christmas comes in the middle. Our aim is just to make sure that they come back to be the same, right?
If you're going through Christmas, it's really going to come back to your why, and that has to be so strong. And then along with that why, as in, why are you dieting through Christmas, and who's going to be on your side to kind of help you on track and not let you deviate during the festive period? So find that reason, stick with it, have your days as structured as possible, make the social occasions that you do have not revolve around food, and make them revolve around, seeing family, spending quality time. And then that's probably the easiest way you can do it and navigate yourself through Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Indi?
I'd say consistent throughout the period. Understandably, it's a time for family and so forth, but I would be consistent. The Christmas meal itself is relatively healthy. Obviously bearing in mind you don't have full up on the desserts and stuff, but I'd say consistent. And if you are going to go out for dinners, take into account where you'll be going beforehand. Even look at restaurant menus, make sure you know what you're eating if you have to eat out. But yeah, consistent. You got to look about why you're doing what you're doing.
What a world we live in today, if we have to eat out.
Yeah. You can tell Indi's dieting hard, right? With the way he's speaking.
If you have to eat out.
The only word he's saying is consistent.
Consistent.
I've had the same thing every day since I got to Australia. I bear in mind some of the odd gelato here and there. But yeah, consistency, key part of the training.
But it's summer in Australia as well, right? So it's a bit easier to diet at this stage.
Yeah, but they still have Christmas, dude.
Yeah, but it's like you're still focused on that summer body kind of thing. Imagine we had Christmas in July over here.
Yeah, but say you had a photo shoot though, you'd still focus, right? It's just this is whatever your reason is. It doesn't matter if it was over Christmas, Easter, or like. The goal is bigger than the occasion.
If I was in the situation of this, which I am right now, I'd be pretty full on until Christmas Day and let myself be a bit relaxed on Christmas meal, spend time with my family, enjoy that, get that kind of positive reinforcement, because that's what really matters, that kind of, for me, but then I get back on it the next day. That one little wouldn't slip up.
Team no days off, man. Come on, what, Christmas as well?
Mate, I'm going to Christmas morning.
I'm only joking.
But yeah, it comes down to why you're doing what you're doing at the end of the day. I'd personally take the kind of the good time with my family and have a laugh, but it doesn't mean you have to go off the rails in nutrition. You can still eat clean. It's not about, it's a free ticket to go and eat shit food. It's be consistent on that day, train hard. I'd go out for a workout in the morning and then almost feel like you've earned that meal.
On Christmas Day?
Yeah, I've done that in the past. I've gone out for a run and come back.
Wow.
Indi's militant here, man.
Jesus, man. You're ruthless.
Well, remember, I'm the fatty out of you guys, isn't it? I'm the one that was biggest, so I'm on.
This is the Rajpal grind.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there's a reason why I beat what I have, isn't it, in my life? So you've got to be determined.
For all the RNT clients you're working with, Indi, to be prepared for the morning run on Christmas Day.
No excuses.
Oh, mate, I might throw in an odd weight session there as well. But
twice a day weight training on Christmas Day.
Mate, you've got to earn that Christmas meal. You know?
And then burn it off straight after.
And then Boxing Day back at it, no excuses.
Get on the treadmill.
Keep Brussels sprouts only.
Oh man.
Extra Brussels sprouts. All right, I'll let you guys off. Have an exercise for turkey breast as well, but you know, no, just
by the way.
just enjoy it. I'd say, yeah, be good until Christmas Day. Spend time with your family, have a laugh, you know, and don't beat yourself up if you go over your calories. It's one day. In the grander scheme of things, it's not going to mess you up. Just get back on it the next day and carry on.
Yeah. Kunal?
I would say similar to Ben, just stay active, keep training as well, keep your daily NEAT quite high. Also create buffers. Like if you got parties coming up and you know it's going to be like high in calories, so drop a couple of meals, drop your carbs, drop your fats, keep protein quite high during the day. Keep you satiated as well. So, yeah, those are 2 points I'd say. Just keep yourself training and create buffers in the day.
I think the buffers thing is huge because in December, there's always loads of parties going on, always events going on. So if you can just kind of manage the calories outside of the parties, you can just kind of average out over the course of the week so you're not spilling over too much.
The only thing I'd add to that, if you're going to create a buffer, be sensible with it. Like if you've got, say, I don't know, 1,800 calories, don't try and eat, 400 calories through protein and then think that you can control yourself whilst you're surrounded by alcohol. Like plan your buffer, plan how much food you're going to have. Otherwise it's just going to spiral out of control, especially if alcohol is involved.
Well, yeah, you can do you can plan. I probably wouldn't even do it on the day itself. I'd probably plan it around
Day before.
If you do it the day as odd day of it, then you're going to end up like the situation you just said, where you end up restricting yourself so much when that way you're around the food, you just go crazy, right?
Exactly. And then the next day, go on, sorry.
Yeah, say you had a party on Friday night, for example, which is going to be a big one. You could do like Wednesday, normal eating. Thursday, go a little bit lower on carbs and fats. Friday, go a little bit lower on carbs and fats during the day. Enjoy yourself completely at night. Saturday, repeat that low on carb and fat day, and then go back to normal on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
The day before and day. But the worst thing you can do is turn up to like an event when you're stressed out, you're famished, and you're just ready to go, right?
Because then the only solution you've got the next day is fasting for the whole day, which is going to suck.
Okay, so what I'd say is around the festive period is not to stress out, because I think a lot of people just get stressed out about it and they start feeling guilty about everything they're doing. And I think the best thing to do is just to is to have that relaxed mindset, because I think as long as you're sensible, it's only actually like 5 to 10 meals off plan out of maybe 1,500 to 2,000 in the space of a year. Say you're eating 5 times a day, that adds up to about 1,500 meals a year. So if only 5 or 10 of them are off plan, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. And if you truly enjoy it guilt-free and not treat it like a guilt fest, then you probably won't end up overeating too much. And your body composition might improve, actually, especially if you're someone who's so restrictive throughout the year. The only time I'd recommend being super on it, like Indi said earlier, is if you've got a goal in January. So last year, for example, I had 2 clients that had a photo shoot on the 6th of January for some reason. And I told them that it's probably the worst date you could probably pick, because of the nature of the schedule. But they wanted to do it on the 6th of Jan. And because of that, they managed to keep it tight during Christmas and bring their best on shoot day. But outside of those situations, I'd probably be more relaxed. I mean, the other one would be if you've been eating like a pig all year, you've been sitting on the sofa, you haven't actually moved, you've only just started your transformation, then you don't want to be, compromising the habits you're still in the process of building. So those are probably the best tips I'd give, in addition to what you guys have said about keeping active, creating buffers in the day. And the other thing I'd add would be hydration, especially when there's a lot of alcohol around, is people forget to top up on their water intake. And that can also lead to, more hunger pangs and more risk of eating over top.
If we're on the subject of like hydration, invariably everyone's going to have a few drinks over Christmas. That's just part and parcel of it. I think the other thing is choose your poison wisely. Like maybe drop beer and choose like spirits that are clear, less in calories, whereby, you can still enjoy the event, but they're not going to be as damaging as, say, having 5 beers. If you're having, I'm not promoting alcohol, by the way. I'm just giving the listeners a good enough way of doing it without like completely blowing their body composition goals. If you're switching to something like gin or vodka, that way you can still be involved, still measure what you're doing, and actually not feel like, oh, I'm dieting. I can't be involved in the Christmas festivities and whatnot. But yeah, hydration is key. Like if you're going to do that, then you need to double down with what you're doing with hydration.
Yeah, and I think, like you said earlier, about keeping that focus on the social occasion and just spending quality time with your family and friends, because this is usually a time where you connect with people you haven't seen in a while. So if you keep that focus on the family and friends, then you probably automatically eat a bit more normally, rather than, going on a binge fest that most people associate Christmas with, right?
But it's a mindset, isn't it? Like if you go into Christmas thinking, oh, okay, I've got 2 weeks off and like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat everything, see how much like Christmas pudding I can get in me, how much turkey, I'm going to eat all the leftovers. You've already kind of set your mind up in the place where it's a free for all. Whereas if you go into it planned and just like, right, okay, it's going to be Christmas, I'm going to enjoy time with family, don't need to obsess about food, you're going to come out of it a lot better.
Yeah, make it about the occasion rather than the food.
Yeah.
Nathan, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm thinking hopefully better.
Oh, new headphones.
You're back.
No,
Just downgraded to the free iPhone headphones.
Yeah, sorry, these came with the iPhone, just standard edition. Sorry, they're not gold plated. So tagging on from that kind of thing and making about the occasions and about the family, I think you can also tag that family occasion onto the goals that you have. So, a lot of people, and there's a lot of gyms and there's a lot of things you can do activity-wise over the Christmas period that would involve family and your goals. So, habit stacking, whether it's, you haven't seen your cousin in a while and it's nice outside, you can go and take your cousin for a walk and you can go and get your steps in as well. Try and make it so it's not around those areas that you're normally eating food. If you sit down and have a cup of tea with your family, or you sit down with your family, the biscuits come out, the mince pies will be there. If you take it away from that environment, you're more than likely going to get at least some things in there. You might not stay away from the mince pies all the way through, but if you get a couple hours respite away from the mince pies, it's going to give your mindset, but also your body composition a bit of a rest.
Oh my God. Are you thinking about mince pies, Nate?
They're already in the shops and I've seen them.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear.
But you know what I mean? Like if you can stack something with your goals, like, I know a family that actually make it a thing where they go together all together to the gym on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and all brothers that come back and make a thing of it, and basically taking the owners out of kind of just being centered around the house, around just food, and just waiting for the food to come to them and eat it.
Yeah, some great tips there. Let's finish on a rapid fire. Actually, before we do that, why don't we go through each of our own physique goals right now, like our own fitness goals?
Oh, take it away, Nathan.
Yeah, we've already gone with Indi, so Indi can give a recap, but let's go, Nathan. Yeah.
My goals are firstly to survive Christmas, get health goals, so just increasing my sleep and digestive function as well as blood markers, which is a really important thing at the moment, and just enjoying training. I'm going to be training a lot on the go next year, traveling. So, finding a routine and finding a system that I can kind of train regularly, but also travel at the same time. That's my goal at the moment.
What are you doing with sleep and digestion?
I'm just making it better by making better choices and not eating crap food. But all the stuff we discussed on our podcast around like gargling and meditation, mindfulness, they all help. A bit of intermittent fasting as well, kind of giving the digestive system a bit of a rest.
Are you doing you started meditation then?
I do a little bit in the evenings.
How are you doing it?
Through guided meditation, basically getting told what to think and what to say, and then
really?
it can, yeah. If you've never tried, it's better than meditation. If you've never meditated before, you never know how to get into that state. So just let someone take you. So it's like it sounds a bit funny, but basically this guy just like imagine the waves are crashing through the sea, and then your emotions are going away with the waves as they come back in. All this type of stuff, but actually, it's quite effective.
Is it breath focus or is it just purely like what you just said there?
It's both. So they tell you how to control the breathing and what to think about at the same time.
How long do you do it for?
There's like 14 minutes one, but to be honest, by the time number 9 comes in, like 9 minutes in, I'm asleep. So
wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
What's this one?
Oh, just YouTube. Just put guided meditation. Make sure you get the sleepy one, not the let's get ready to rumble one. There's fired up ones in the morning where you like let's get fired for the day, and then that's obviously I've got a different goal in mind.
Yeah. Have you ever used any binaural beats as well?
Yeah, they just hurt my ears. To be fair.
Yeah.
They're effective, and obviously there probably is some good research around the frequencies, etc., like that. But
The tempo,
so annoying when you're first getting used to it.
Funny you mentioned that. So I went through a big phase of binaural beats, and then I've actually come away from it recently. And then I spoke to one of our clients, Hirsch, who's a neurologist, about it, and he says there's actually not much research on it. The brain, there's actually not much about the binaural beats, so it could just be an individual thing, it could be a placebo thing, but I do think it helps for some people. But I think it's more to do with the repeated frequency and the repeated sounds. Like for me, I just play one song over and over again. As long as there's no lyrics in, I think it works really well in creating that focus state that you're trying to get into.
What song is it?
House music.
It's like some piano song.
Can you hum it?
I can't do it.
I don't know, actually.
It's the Godfather theme.
You can try that.
Yeah. Did you notice the Godfather soundtrack in the back of Sanjay's testimonial?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Was that the only one?
Yeah, seems like it. It was really quiet, but I thought I'd put some music in. I didn't have many instrumentals. It's the only one I had, so I put the Godfather song in.
Such a great track.
Ben, you want to go with your goals?
Yeah, sure. Similar to Nathan's, I'm not looking at blood markers, but like health markers, general ones, keeping resting heart rate in a good place, keeping blood pressure in a good place, training hard, keeping just general health really well. I've got a few lifts that I'd like to work on and increase. I've got no real set numbers. I'm just really enjoying training at the moment, and nothing really set in terms of, I need to do a photo shoot or I need to lift X amount of weight. Just really enjoying the process, if you will.
What's your training split at the moment?
I've always kept it to upper lower. I try to take the weekends off.
Yeah.
Because obviously we all spend time in the week working all the time. So I'll have upper lower, more strength focused usually at the start of the week, and more hypertrophy, pump base later in the week, the weekends off. And then I'll have 2 30-minute cardio sessions, which I'll do at any time, kind of like maybe on a Wednesday or after an upper body workout. Just keeping my heart rate between 120, 140 and just cycling usually.
What are you trying to get your heart rate down to?
It's down to, at the moment, between 50 and 54 for the past week. So I'm just trying to keep it under like 60 beats per minute, which is good. Which means that when I'm in the gym, my work capacity increases, my aerobic system is robust, and yeah, it's just in a good place.
What's meant to be a good heart rate?
I mean, the thing is, I don't think there's a range you can just say what's a good heart rate. I like to try and get people like 60 or less. The recommendation is probably a bit higher than that, but my way of thinking about it is the stronger and more robust the aerobic system is, the more work you can do in the gym, the quicker you recover, therefore the more volume you can tolerate and the better your strength gains, because you're not doing so much to the point where it's getting in the way of your gym progress, but it is definitely helping you recover faster. So
Get stronger, still maintain the same program now on since May, trying to get the most out of that for about another 6 months or so. I also want to get into like something like Pilates or yoga. Bit weird, but yeah, I just focusing for your flexibility. I think it'd be quite good. Try something new.
Pilates, actually, I did one session earlier this year, and it's bloody hard, man.
How's that?
I don't know about flexibility. I think it's all core based, right?
Oh, is it?
Has anyone else tried it?
Well, Pilates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more activation based rather than relaxing based.
Yeah, it's just core work, really, right? And glutes. So a lot of glutes and core.
Yeah,
I might try it.
the thing with that is it's like such a number of like contractions that you're doing, and all in movements you're not familiar with. That's why you feel it so much. It's not like you're going in and going, well, I'm doing a loaded crunch or a fucking Romanian deadlift.
It's like 700 seconds holding the plank with your leg out on the side.
I was saying just get on some strongman training. That's enough core strength there.
Yeah, but like, I'm just saying the stimulus is completely different. Like you do whatever you want to do. Like say you do a farmer's walk. Of course you're working your core because otherwise you'd fall to pieces. but it's just such a specific type of contraction that's required from Pilates. And that's where people get this like misconception of, oh, but I'm getting a stronger core and I'm a lot more toned. And like, so
Yeah.
to a point you are, but like, it's not going to keep progressing.
Yeah. Well, Kunal's goal really should be so that when he diets down next, he's above the 60 kilo mark, right?
I was 59, so
If I was you, I'd be
kilo.
all out bulking right now. I wouldn't be worrying about your flexibility.
Kunal, do you do more than 7 reps now?
Mate, I'm on 10. I'm on 10 now.
And just for the listeners, me and Akash had a bit of a laugh when Kunal was prepping. We both trained with him, and Kunal just doesn't do any more reps than 7.
Why?
In any of his sets, it doesn't matter if the rep range is 12, 15, 35, and he just stops at 7. He's like, yeah, done there. Don't worry about that.
After Christmas, mate, start doing those 2 30-minute sessions I told you about just now. It will help you work capacity.
We call it the KMAX 7 method.
KMAX 7, yeah.
The 7 repper.
7 training program.
You're going to take over FSD 7, right? Indies, anything you'd like to add about your goals?
No, I mean, there's obviously get sub 10%, then just build back up, try to regain the strength I've lost over this last year. So get back into my strongman training, get back to my farmers, and work on my overhead log. But yeah, that's about it. Just get.
Can I ask you a question on that? Like you said, obviously build back up, but build back up to what? Like what kind of numbers for lifting and what kind of body composition?
Well, I reckon I want to get back up to about 72 to 79 kilos, I say, sub 80. Get back up to the ability where I can do a 120 each hand farmer's walk again. At the moment, it's about 100. My log is just diminished, so my overhead at the moment is just probably 80 kilos when it used to be 100. So yeah, I've lost a bit of strength, but hey, that's a given in a deficit. So I just want to get back to that.
Yeah, you've got to caveat that a little bit. You've been in a deficit much longer than anybody else.
Mass moves mass.
Yeah.
Most people should be.
And you've lost like what, 50 kilos?
Well, what was I? 120. I'm currently sitting at 68. So
well, there you go. So yeah, like a lot of weight. So, you know, it's not necessarily like that everyone's going to lose strength in a deficit. It's probably the length of time you've been in it and the amount of weight you've lost.
I'd probably argue and say you probably haven't lost strength, and you've relative strength. You've just lost mass, which is, you know, one part of the equation. You probably actually got stronger. But
I reckon. I mean, I haven't done any testing, so I probably agree with you there. But yeah, when I get back into some testing, I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah. If you see me on Instagram fainting or anything like that, you know, just send an ambulance. So, yeah.
Actually, question for you as well. You must know, what's your resting heart rate given the amount of weight loss? It must be quite low.
God knows. You know what? I don't actually check it. That's something I need to start doing. I'll get back to you on that.
I think I need to test my resting heart rate because you guys keep talking about it.
It's such a good variable to track. Like, put it this way: if you've got a higher resting heart rate and you're trying to do hypertrophy and get stronger, it means that you gas out quicker because you tax your body more. The lower you can keep it, the more potential room there is for you to train harder. So it makes sense to keep it in a healthy range as long as you can so that you can train harder if you're serious about like building muscle.
Yeah.
Or even digestive stress as well. It's like related to like post-workout feeding and stuff, you know, that some people would say, and I'm not 100% positive on this, but some people would say, you know, if your heart rate's up after training, then when you eat food post-workout, you know, you're going to incur more digestive stress after the workout. If you wait until your heart rate's down back to resting and then eat, you're more of a relative place to eat with a good digestion.
Yeah, I think the thing with what you're saying there, Nath, is like people are so worried about missing the post-workout anabolic window, and it's like really it's more like a barn door anyway. So you don't need to stress about having a shake within the first minute of like putting the dumbbells down. You can wait for an hour and let your body kind of calm down and get ready to take on nutrients rather than stressing like with a small detail.
I think that's even been proven in research, right? The whole digestive blood flow thing.
Yeah.
It just moves out of the into the extremities.
Yeah, but it's like imagine being chased by a lion and then being sat down and say, right, have your meal now. It's like,
have your chicken and rice. Here you go.
And doesn't that open you up to more intolerances and stuff down the line? Doing too much of that, or
I'm not sure. I
Eating
can't
in a
really
stressful
comment on that.
environment, or not really?
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, it would depend on the sources as well that you're having. Like, there's quite a lot of stuff on like whey protein and how fast it digests, and the impact maybe on your digestive system, anecdotally, and your digestive system. But yeah, as Ben said, can't really comment as much.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
What are yours? You didn't say yours.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Akash's.
Go
He
on.
does six sets of RDLs and then leaves the gym 3 times a week. Literally,
Body workout.
just to keep relevant.
Just so I can show that video every couple of months, right? Doing an RDL down to my ankles. Actually, right now I've actually dropped my training down to 3 days a week for the first time. I'm doing 3 days a week of full body, which seems, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It's just something completely different. And the workouts only last 50 minutes. And I'm actually doing timed respirators for once, doing antagonist supersets. So it's not quite GBC, but it's like the more advanced version of it.
How does that look? Like in terms of layout, what's the workout look like?
Yeah. So day one is hack squat and leg curl to start with, 2 sets each. One set with a heavier weight, and then one set with a lighter weight. And then after that, I move on to dips and chest supported rows. Same principle. And then I finish off with a shoulder superset, and that's it. So 6 exercises. And then the next day today is going to be floor presses with barbell rows, and then walking lunges with back extensions, and then finishing off on biceps and triceps. And then the last day, so Friday, will be Romanian deadlift, of course. That'll be alone. I won't be pairing that with anything. And then shoulder press with pull up, and then barbell floor press close grip with face pulls. And then I finish off with 1 set of 50 on the leg press.
Ugh.
Just to get some, yeah.
Ugh. That's horrible.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty good workout so far. And
Is that a rest pause? Yeah, rest pause 150.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the 50.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, not 1 set of 150 or 50.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was going to say it.
Yeah.
It's nauseating.
Yeah, rest pause. And then with my diet, I've actually just been naturally just dropping body fat over the last few months. So I'm down. I hit 90 kilos earlier this year. But every time I get up there, I just feel bloated, and my face looks bloated. And you know how it is, right? Once you've done the bulk a couple of times, it doesn't really give the same benefits as it used to, because you've already laid down that foundation. So I'm now down to 82 kilos and just kind of holding it around that 82, 83 mark, which I feel like I'm at my strongest, but also have a decent level of condition as well at the same time.
When are you competing again?
I don't know if I will. Right now I can't think about doing it. If I do, it won't be for a minimum of 3 years again. If I do, but right now I can't really think about the idea of competing. Still probably burn out from last year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did you do it again?
Nah.
Yeah, I can't see it.
There's no appeal at all. I love the experience of doing it, but so far as doing that all over again, nah.
Yeah. And now that I don't train any competitors. I'm not in those circles at all. So there's no real appeal to it from that perspective either, right? Which doesn't mean I don't want to get lean again, but getting that contest lean, I don't know if it's necessary anymore.
No, I mean, getting contest lean and getting beach lean are 2 different things and require a completely different level of sacrifice.
Yeah, for sure. Would you guys do it, Nathan or Indi?
Not a chance. That's literally. But to be fair, the same thing with Akash is like when you have socially friends or you have people in that environment that have done that, it's more enticing to do it. Oh yeah, they've done it, so it's a normal, natural progression. Whereas actually, it's not. It's just because they've done it and you want to fit in. Whereas I've come out of that circle and I'm like, oh, actually, no, I care about what my body's doing and why it's not sleeping or why it's not doing that. I don't want to put myself back in that position where you're mentally fragile.
And like, we don't really train many clients that do it either, right? So
the other thing is like what you're saying there is like when that condition you're talking about, that's not healthy.
No.
You're going past the point of lean, normal, everything functioning well. You're going to like the realms of shit sleep, worse than digestion. You look better and better, but everything about you is literally like falling apart. So, you know, it's interesting to do maybe once, twice, and then once you've experienced it, you're like, okay, cool, I'm all right with being just lean, or whatever your definition of it is.
I think it's super important though, as a trainer, that you do it. Whether it's contest, whether you actually step on stage or not, but I think it's important that every trainer gets like shredded, because it teaches you so much about not only yourself, but, you know, the journey that clients go through. And it allows you to empathize with them along the way, the entire journey, right? And, you know, if you've got shredded, like everything you're feeling, you know, everything the client's feeling, you know, you felt it, and probably worse as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nathan, you're cutting off.
able to tell the client what's coming next. Massive.
That is massive.
You can tell the client.
Nathan, we didn't get a word of that.
What?
That was so robotic.
There's no.
You're spitting fire as well.
Yeah.
Nathan, we didn't get a word of that.
It's not. It wasn't important. It's fine.
No, go ahead. Go on.
I was just saying that it's important to tell your clients that where they're heading and what they're about to experience.
Yeah, for sure. That's the example, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is there anything else you guys would like to wrap up on? Any final words of wisdom leading into the Christmas period coming up?
Buy one mince pie, don't buy a pack of 6. Biggest life tip.
That's the one. That's going on the quote card then.
Yeah. That's fine. Buy singular, not packs.
Yeah.
Don't buy too much shit for Christmas, like Nathan said, otherwise you're going to be in trouble.
And just don't eat the stuff that you don't like, or you feel like
Well, you know we don't have.
you have to eat it. Yeah. Oh, do you want a candy cane? No. I'd rather spend but I'll eat it if it's in front of me.
Yeah, the food focus thing, right? If it's there, you're going to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool. So if you enjoyed today's
yeah.
episode of RNT Fitness Radio, please share it with your family and friends. If you know anyone going through similar situations and think they'll find value out of it, just drop them a share. For more information, please visit www.rntfitness.com. You can follow us on Instagram at RNT_fitness. And for all the trainers' handles, we'll put them in the show notes. Thanks for listening.